All right, thanks for joining me today on the channel. And today we're going to kind of do a 2-for-1, right? And the reason for that is because I changed my diorama a little bit, right? Let's talk about the Justice Buster that we just got, and then a little bit about the diorama piece that's back there. You know, I think it's super cool, and it kind of deserves a little bit of a blurb at the end. And since this is I changed my diorama, we'll take a look at that also. So, and we'll get a closer look in a little while. I picked this guy up at Big Bad Toy Store. You know, you guys know this website. Who doesn't know Big Bad Toy Store? But anyways, he's one of the mega figures for the McFarlane line. What do I think about him? Well, let's get into this figure. I have very little knowledge of who this guy is. I just really don't know. I really don't know a lot about him other than he's a damn cool looking mega fig. I mean, I could use this guy in all kinds of displays. I mean, he just looks tremendous. To me, he's incredibly just well sculpted. All the little pieces. He could be in, you know, you really don't need this. You know, you could almost cover that up a little bit and you don't even almost notice it. You just, you know, you kind of glance over it. Yeah, there's a bat thing there, but, you know, with a little bit of a work, you could just almost cut that off, or you could just put another piece of plexus, what do they call it, like plexiplastic or whatever it is on top of that. Like I have some of that, and cover that up. I'm not going to cover it up. He just looks great this way. Just a great looking figure. He's got some great sculpting on it, lots of details. He could use a wash, and it would just, and he actually has a little bit of a wash. You can see that he has some washes and some highlightings. Oh, so much wash could go there, and he could look even better. There's so many details on him. I mean, but McFarlane excels. McFarlane's company excels at details. Just little tiny details in the sculpt, little fine details in the sculpt that you could bring out through washes. He feels, I thought he would be actually heavier, but he feels kind of lightweight. I wouldn't say cheap, but I would say, and I wouldn't say flimsy, but he does feel less heavy duty, if I could say that. He feels less heavy duty than most. So yeah, just, you know, it just does. He's got some work there on him. He's got some, I like how they did some dry brush here, which is rare for McFarlane. They don't do very much of that dry brush work sometimes. But yeah, lots of detail on him. Look, he got some dry brush here in his hands. He's got some work there. He feels good. He feels like a nice chunky figure. Like I said, though, not extra heavy. I thought he'd be heavier. But anyways, let's get into this figure. Let's see what he can do. Is, you know, I saw him and I knew I had to have him because, you know, just cool. So let's just get into the articulation, why don't we? His head can do kind of this move, can kind of look up. That's as far as he's going to look up. I think those are his eyes, or his what does it call it? Optic sensors? I don't know. So he can, that's as far as he can look up, and then he can kind of do one of these to look lower down. It's kind of interesting. And then he can turn, of course. He could turn either way. Of course, you can't go all the way around because he's hampered by this thing. And this is very flexi plastic there. So you've got that very, very movable head, very articulated head. So that's what you get there. He can do a T-pose very easily. This is very flexible as well, this stuff. It doesn't get out of your way, but it doesn't hinder you either. So that's the best T-pose you're going to get out of this figure right there. Not bad, actually, for a chunky figure. Not bad. The other thing you're going to get is he's ratcheted, which is interesting. I don't think I've ever seen McFarlane put that much technique into a ratchet joint ever. So he's ratcheted there, and then he's ratcheted at the bicep. So he could turn all the way there, and then he can turn his arms this way, which is a bicep cut, and then a single jointed elbow that comes up not quite 90 degrees. This is not articulated. His fingers are not articulated at all. So he has one closed fist and one open fist. And you know, I was like, oh man, I wish I could do his hand up. And you can actually do his hand up. If you want to turn it up, you can have it go like this. Like, hey, give me some dog treats or something. I don't know. But yeah, it's not, I wish we could have had another cut here. And then that would have been fantastic. But yeah, you only get the bicep cut. You don't get another cut here. That's it. You just get that joint, but still very well articulated. He does have just a minor articulation right there. I mean, look at that. It's just barely some articulation there. I think there's a ball joint right there, but he doesn't really move very much there. He does go a little bit from side to side. Mine has a very loose waist cut, but I mean, I don't really need it to be very tight. Now, he's got some interesting parts down here at the bottom. Very interesting, because, well, you'll see. He can do the splits, ratcheted there. Very, very good. The Justice Buster splits. And he can kick up about that big, right? Can kick back a little too. And then you're going to see this that's really interesting. Now, there's no boot cut here. It feels like there is, but I don't want to end up with a Kyle meltdown on my video, so we're not going to push it. It feels like there should be, but there's not. So you can kick up, you can do the splits. The other thing that he can do, and this was really weird, he can actually extend his legs to get taller. And I'm not sure what this little joint is. Maybe it's for extra support when he gets taller, but he can get actually a taller stance. Let me see if I can stand him up. Oh, come on, guy. Come on, big man. So he literally gets about another inch taller when you do that. It's impressive. If I can get him to stand already. So look at that. So if you extend these joints down here by his legs, he actually gets taller. See, because they do this. They collapse and it makes him shorter. You see how his legs are different sizes, but if you pull him out, he gets taller. So he has that mobility down there. And in doing so, he actually gets additional range there in his leg. Not a lot, but he gets some. And he gets some ankle pivot there as well. So you get that with him. That's a lot of articulation in his leg. So you get that. You don't get any pivot down here. There's nothing to really, I mean, he has something there, but there's not very much articulation there. But he's got a huge surface area there to land on. So yeah, there's not any articulation. Well, not that I want to break. So let's make him little again. Come on. See if we can get him little. I guess that's for when he gets angry, right? It's like almost like Ed 209. I mean, yeah, Ed 209. When he gets taller, when he gets angrier. So you can have him little, kind of relaxed, or you can have him grow by an inch or two there. Actually, about an inch. So that's pretty cool. And ultimately, what I think about this guy as a big figure, as a chunky figure, I mean, I have to give this guy like he's a 4. I would have liked some more articulation, but he's a damn good figure to have. I really like it. Some of it feels a little bit, not flimsy, but sketchy as to, please don't break. But he hasn't disappointed me. He hasn't broken on me. I've done all the articulation that I think I can do on him, and no issues with him. And he does have a lot of detail. But like I said, I'd give him a 4 out of my 5 being the best. From 1 to 5 being the best, I give him a 4. Not quite way up there into the 4.5s and 8s. No, he doesn't get that high. This guy deserves a 4 though. He is a good figure to have, well articulated for who he is. And I don't know a lot about the character, but I know nice design when I see it, and I know what I like when I see it. And I like this giant mech looking dude. Very cool looking. So anyways, yeah, I dig him. I dig it. So, and you guys noticed that I switched out my lab a little bit here, or my diorama, And I also got, and here's the second part of the, you know, 2-for-1, if you could say, review, and that's this little hyper chamber. I forgot what it's called. It's on Big Bad Toy Store. Hold on, I'll tell you just a second, because I have it right here. This is what it looks like. This is the box that it comes in. Universal Hibernation Pod MTO2. I don't know if that's, anyways, that's what it is. I actually picked up 2 of them. And well, anyways, let's take a quick closer look at it. 1 second. So you're gonna have to forgive me. Wait, hold on. What are you doing there? Get you out of the way. You're not supposed to be there. So anyways, you're gonna have to forgive me for this because we're going a little bit freehand here. So what you'll notice here is this is the hibernation pod, right? And I've added some little details there with the, you know, data pad, and maybe he's scribbling on something. He's got that, you know, some scribbles back there behind him. And it comes with 2 things, right? It comes with this little stand-up device, which these are, I didn't draw these are on here on their own, right? They're not on their own. These are water transfers. And then you comes with the hibernation pod. Both of these are awesome. I really loved the look of this. It's great. It looks like a really cool professional science fiction diorama. And the hibernation pod is tops, right? You definitely, you know, look and see that quality of this. Now, not only that, but watch this. Oh, come on now. Don't make me a liar. See, look, changes. So you can have different colors in there. Very cool. The other thing that it does is you can actually pop this top open. Let me see if I can do it with one hand without making a mess of everything. So you can pop this off. Here, let me turn it off. There it goes. And what you could do is actually slide this part off, and then you can replace the figure in there. Now, the other thing that you could do with it, let me close that, is let me pull him out a little bit. And again, we're going freehand on this, so you'll excuse my trembliness with it. Here, let me put it back on the stand because I want to make a mess with all this trembliness. 1 second, guys. All right. Here, let's see if we can adjust. All right. So I had to do that just so you guys get a closer look of that. The other thing that we could do is, let me see if I can scooch this out. It's got a thing on the back, like a rest. And what you could do is actually pull this down, roll this back. Wait, hold on. You got to unclamp it first. There's a lot to do here. Unclamp it, bring it back, and lay him down on it. So he can go up to there and maybe stand there, right? So you can lay him back in this thing. I mean, it's got a lot of crazy cool options. I really dig it. I think it's well worth it. Now, here's the problem with this little setup here. It is not for the faint of heart to put together. I'm not saying it's super hard to put together, but you've got to put the electronic pieces together. There's no soldering, but there is some minimal understanding of electronics. You got to put that together. You got to put all these pieces together. You've got to put this water slide transfers on it together. So it took me about 2 hours to build this, and it took me about an hour and a half to build that, because I was watching, I don't know if it was an hour and a half. You might be able, if you really put your mind to it, you might be able to do this in 30 minutes, because I was watching Super Mario Brothers while I built this one. So anyways, guys, that's what I've got for you today. I definitely recommend this thing. I think it was 30 bucks. I mean, that's how they got it so low, because you do all the work. I definitely recommend it. Thanks for watching today. You've got the Hibernation Pod and the Justice Buster right here. Both of them are great products. The cons, it doesn't have all the articulation I like, but still a great product. Awesome Hibernation Pod. You get extras with it, but the con is you're doing all the work and labor to put that together. A little bit of electronics and understanding on that too. So anyways, This I recommend. If you know how to put models together and do a little bit of electronics, it's a 5. That's a 1. That's out of 1 out of 5. That's a 5. If you have the patience and some electronics to do that, put that together, because you could use this for so many things. This guy's a 4 because I want more articulation, and that's just a bonus. It just looks awesome. That's awesome. Gives you everything you want. That's why this is a 5. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching today, and as long as you guys keep watching, I'll keep rolling it out. Also, why don't you stay for one last thing? I want to talk to you about something. All right, guys. Well, if you stayed this long into the video, you deserve to know something. There was some hints given in that video, and they were all given to you in order. Now, I've always been a big fan of puzzles and cryptography. So we're going to do a little something different here. There's 2 things I want you to do in order to get the prize that I'm giving at the end. You can solve it in 5 minutes. You can solve it in a week or 2. And this one's actually pretty easy. It's pretty easy. So I gave you all the clues to what I want, and I gave them to you in order. And there's a huge one in the video. I'm trying to explain to this in less than a minute. So there's 2 huge things that core things you got to do. Number 1, you have to be a subscriber. No and ifs or buts. Number 2, you have to solve what I've just told you is in the video. If you can get that answer to me, send it over to me in the email address that I have on my page. You'll get 1 free Ben Reilly action figure, the Ben Reilly that just came out, the big one with the big eyes and the Vulcan body. So it's yours. It's free if you send me the right answer. Hopefully you guys get it quickly. If not, I guess I'll have to make them easier. I don't know. You guys tell me if this is fun or not. But I've always loved cryptography, and I've always liked puzzles, and this is fun to me, coming up with this stuff. So anyways, thanks for staying till the end, and let me know if this is something that you guys like. And I'll tell you what, the harder they get, the better the prizes. Keep watching. I'll keep rolling them out.